Some say I was born to talk to myself. And that's what I'm going to do. Everybody's got a talk show. Everybody's got a show. Everybody has a podcast. Everyone can go on YouTube and do stuff. So why shouldn't I, right? Actually, it's quite intimidating because there are some people doing it. You're kind of like, what can I possibly offer? Well, we'll find out. I'll find out. At least that's my plan. So yeah, born to talk. People always said that. Um, yeah, who cares? Anyway, in the old days, in the before times, people used to use this quote by an old guy named Andy Warhol that everybody in the future, he said everyone in the future would have their 15 minutes of fame, meaning every random Joe would have a moment where they would cut across all the clutter of the news and become a hero of the day, or not a hero of the day, just the news of the day. And people like to use that analogy now, or people old enough to know that analogy of the 15 minutes of fame to today's atmosphere, saying, well, everyone's got a show, so everyone's getting their 15 minutes of fame. No, they're not. All they have is access to a platform that if they're really, really good and really, really lucky, they can get famous from, like Hawk Tuah. Or anyone else, really, actually. There's a lot of ways people do get famous, and certainly there's more avenues than there ever were before. But the idea that everyone with a show is somehow bringing to life, that proverb, if it was a proverb, that whatever he said, Andy Warhol said, that everyone will have 15 minutes of fame, it's not happening. We all want that, I suppose, right? Although, let me be clear. Fame, yes. Good fame, yes. Infamy, no. Like, I wouldn't want to be the guy known for getting my you know what chopped off in the 90s. By the way, I need to get some newer references. I know that, especially if I hope to retain or attain a Gen Z audience, which of course, that's what I need to do. But anyway, not everyone's going to get their 15 minutes. I doubt I will. I doubt I'll even spend 15 minutes on this video, to be honest, because I don't quite know what this is going to be. I'd like to make it a show, get one of those microphone things. That looked weird. Get one of those microphone things to make it look more professional. But right now, I think I just want to start yapping, as they say. So why me? Because, no. I do have a lot of opinions on things. I've been in the news media for 10 years, and I've been in entertainment media and digital media longer than that. And I've been a human longer than that, who's consumed tons of news, pop culture, current events, and has had a take on those things a lot. And I spent sometimes, going on to TikTok and making TikTok videos, and I've kind of tried doing LinkedIn things, yada, yada, and I still will. But I wanted to really put some effort into doing a longer form video here that I can respond to things that are happening in the news or make news, perhaps. Ha ha ha. Okay. So, what I think is odd is that there's so many shows, right? And most of them are conversations. Me, someone talking to whoever they hope is out there. But most often it's two people, microphone to microphone. All the podcasts are that way. The conversations, you see Mick Jagger sitting down with, some podcast guy who's really well known, I suppose. But that's a conversation, and people love that. The ironic thing is, we love all these conversations, but it's ironic that we don't like talking to each other. I don't. That's why I'm talking to no one here but myself. But no, we do talk to each other less, and certainly no one wants to stop in the middle of the grocery store and start having a conversation about the news events. I don't. So it's funny that we like to see these deep conversations, but we don't necessarily desire to be part of them. Now, if you were to say I could go on a podcast and someone would interview me, well, that's a different story. I would do that in a second. Again, that 15 minutes of fame thing that I mentioned before. But yeah, I think that's interesting that conversation is sort of this, has a value that perhaps it didn't before through mass media like this, although there's been talk shows for years, et cetera, et cetera. But the idea of one person talking to another and getting to those like deeper level of conversation, yeah, I like it. But obviously there's so much of it, And so for me, how do I sort through it? It kind of goes about the topics I like. But anyway, that's not at all what I want to talk about going forward. So this week, the Odyssey is about to come out. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. And of course, there's people who have been told that they can't go see it or they shouldn't go see it because of concerns of wokeism. And that is all one area, and it's so stupid. I just want to hit on the people who, literally saw a tweet that said, I love all of Nolan's movies, but I'm going to sit this one out, bro. And someone's like, why? He's like, well, because, all the reasons, why. I'm not going to go through them. But the idea that you're going to deprive yourself of something that you actually know is you're probably going to like to make a political statement, that's what they used to accuse liberals of doing, by the way. Remember that? They would get mad, or not mad, they would make fun of liberals for boycotting this or boycotting that. Jay-Z does that too, by the way, if you watch the show. But they'd make fun of that, and here they are doing the exact same thing. And sure, you can say, fine, it's your freedom, don't go see the movie. But the fact that they're trying to proselytize themselves, proselytize the idea that no one should see it or we should all boycott it, and the glee that they show when they try to show some ticket map on Fandango that's empty seats, in the middle of like rural Tennessee perhaps, on a Sunday night. It's going to sell well. I'm going on Friday. I can't wait. But I just feel it so weird. I don't even want to get into why I think the whole conversation is stupid. I more just want to talk about what type of person are you that's going to have a decision made based on something else. Now, I guess if the shoes were reversed, someone would say Citizen Vigilante, that movie. You don't plan on seeing it, right? Is that because you're against what the movie's for? Why can't you just watch and enjoy a movie? The reason I wouldn't go see that movie is because it's directed by someone who was thought of as one of the worst directors ever to live, whereas Christopher Nolan, the director of Odyssey, is not that. So that's one thing. Secondly, the subject matter isn't as interesting to me in and of itself, a Death Wish type story. So it has nothing to do with politics in this case. It's quality and interest. So if you're worried about quality, the Odyssey is going to be high quality. If you're just not interested in the subject matter, Greeks and ancient Greeks and history and wars and epics, totally fine. But if you would love both those things, you know you love them, and you won't go because of casting choices that may or may not even be accurate, by the way. We don't know exactly what Elliot Page is, and I think they at one point had said he's going to play Achilles. That's Brad Pitt's role. He can't. Anyway, make up your own mind. But in the culture wars, a victory is a victory, I guess, right? So if they get even a slight bit of Twitter notoriety, likes, attention that they didn't get before by dissing on the movie, I suppose that's worth it for them. But again, you're going to miss out. Just like the people who years ago weren't going to watch football anymore because of Colin Kaepernick. And then it really came into effect a year or so later when Trump was president and basically said people shouldn't watch it, so they didn't. They kind of crept back in, by the way. But for that while, I'm done watching football. Great, good, cool. Again, if you enjoy it, enjoy it. You're not hurting them. Anyway, I keep saying anyway. That's something I'm going to have to cut out as I do more of these videos. So, The Odyssey. I'm seeing it on Friday. I have read it a long time ago, one of the translations. I'm currently listening to a translation by Daniel Mendelsohn. I own the book as well, but I'd like to hear it to sort of pretend I'm sitting around a campfire listening to the stories. Although it's 19 hours, so I can't imagine how they used to break it up. But anyway, I'm so excited to see the movie. Have a lot of thoughts, I'm sure, once I see it, but I'm really curious how he's going to, Christopher Nolan is, deal with certain few things. So that's on my mind. Second thing that's on my mind is everyone's favorite, and That is the president, of course. And on Thursday, he's supposedly going to declare two senators from Georgia who were elected in the year 2020 to be invalid or not legitimate. Their victories were not legitimate. Therefore, I don't know what the therefore is. They were elected 6 years ago. Their terms are about to run up anyway. So it's really weird. Like, they're on the ballot now, I assume. He's not going to get them off the ballot for their re-election. I could be wrong, because I think one of them was filling in for somebody else. But either way, it's been 6 years, bro. And not to even give any validity to what he's going to claim. And isn't that the weirdest thing? The most powerful person in the world is going to give a speech where he says some some news-breaking things. But it won't matter because we don't believe him. And even if we did kind of believe him, by Saturday, there'll be something else to talk about. It's so weird. But anyway, he's likely to declare that. And in declaring that, it means nothing. Nothing. It's a day cycle. It'll get the loyal Trumpers riled up. And it's all part of the campaign, of course, to get the SAVE Act and deal with the midterms. But just this idea that he's going to interrupt Stowe, and I understand he's going to interrupt Kitchen Nightmares, some show on Fox that people seem to like. Luckily, it's not Love Island. He couldn't interrupt it anyway because it's on Peacock, but you get what I mean. Also, there's no World Cup game on Thursday, although he wouldn't care about that anyway. But yeah, so he's going to declare that, and by declaring it means nothing. But so he could also declare lots of other things as well. Like he declared that he is 10 years younger. He's not 80, he's 70. He wipes out those last 10 years because they were taken from him by the deep state and by people who constantly take him down. So those 10 years wiped off the map. Not the accomplishments, of course, just the idea that there were these 10 years. So he is now 70. He's no longer our oldest president. He can declare that. But yeah, I don't know. So, all right, I'm going to do more of this. I think this has been eye-opening for me, and if only for me, just to at least get my stuff set up and see how things look. And I plan to do more. So I hope more people will watch. Thank you.